Hey everyone, welcome back to Red Bandit Racing. Welcome back to the channel. This is the video that you guys have been waiting for. We got the Traxxas SLEDGE and the Arrma EXB 6X Kraton. I know I probably said that wrong. It's the Kraton 6S EXB. We're gonna verse these. This is not just gonna be a comparison. This is a full-on verse. We're gonna go out here on the track. We're gonna do several races, and then we're gonna round it out and see which one is actually faster and which one handles better. Now, if you guys have probably noticed, the first rain of the year, track has a huge puddle that we're gonna have to try to avoid. We got really lucky, guys, that was the only puddle. We thought this place was gonna be flooded, but we were gonna race out here no matter what. We finally got the Kraton ready to go. We got a new receiver, a new transmitter. This thing's ready to go. Hopefully there was no more issues, but this is the verse. If this thing does have an issue today, then that's just a negative point on the durability. These two are gonna be going head to head on the ramp and on the track. First, let's check out some specs, and we'll start with the Sledge. Sledge, this is the only problem that I've had with the body over 1 year. The body still comes off really fast. As you guys can see, I did do a lot of cosmetic work to it. We got the anodized shock tubes, chassis brace, control arm inserts. I did put the gray chassis on it. And as you guys can see, I did put the M2C motor mount. The gearing stock is a 1352, but I went down on the opinion to a 1252. This motor mount has saved so many spur gears. I can't even tell you how many. The chassis is currently bent. You could probably see it right here. It bends along the motor. As you can see, the skirt doesn't go all the way down. It always bends right below the motor. But this solves the problem. As for the batteries, they go in really fast. We are going to be running both cars on 6S. Batteries easily go into the side, and the clips really help keep those batteries in. Not that I've had any actually fall out, but putting these pins in really do help. I've bent a lot of these pins, which tells me the batteries could have flown out an awful lot. I'm not going to use the chassis bag because there's not a lot of dust and stuff out here, so we're not going to use the chassis bag on this one today. I do have the 2280 servo. This thing turns extremely fast. As far as the durability goes, I did break the control arm, the crossbar, and the hinge pin, and the axle all in one break. That was a really bad break. Those have lasted for over a year. The only other issue I had was the rear diff. I broke some gears in it, so I did went ahead and put the steel spiral cut gears. As you can see, I also got the rear M2C shock tower because I bent the last one. The front is still the Traxxas. I haven't had to replace that yet. I will upgrade it once this one bends, but it's been over a year now and it still hasn't bent. The body, this is the only issue I've had with this body after 1 year. As you can see, I put some Gorilla Tape. There is no shoe goo and this body's still going strong. It still goes on just fine. I do have another body on the shelf. I will be using it once this one gets torn up. But that's all we've done to the Sledge. Stock tires, almost stock gearing. This is gonna be really interesting.
All right, so for the Kraton, just to go over the body real quick. The body actually has been getting torn up a little bit. In the back, we have a few different stress points. I actually don't remember exactly where, but there are a few parts around here that are cracked. And especially in the front, the shocks go through the body. We have this problem on the Max, and shoe goo just doesn't fix it. Even if you do shoe goo, it's still going to go through the body unless you put some inserts and put them over or put them on top of the body. It's just going to pull through. These body pins really haven't been a problem. They're not too bad to take off and put back on, and they keep the body on. I think I've only had one clip fall off, and yeah, it's just been great. Battery straps, they're a lot slower, but like again, they hold the batteries in and they're just not going to fly out. From what I've done to the car, we have replaced both sets of drive cups with the Arrma hardened ones. We also do plan on getting GPM, so these aren't going to stay on forever. But as for now, they've been holding up. Like we had in the last video, we did have a problem with the receiver, not the receiver, the transmitter, but we did get that fixed. It is working good. We did break a toe link. I think that's it. We've only broken the toe link and the drive cups. We also did bend an axle. We did get that replaced. All right, so this car is completely stock. I don't see a lot of things that we're actually going to replace on this car. I think outside of those GPM drive cups, this car is going to stay stock. And yeah, like I said, putting the batteries is a lot a lot more work than the Traxxas, but it keeps them in, so I think that's the only thing that really matters. These Traxxas batteries don't fit perfectly. We are going to get the Spektrum smart batteries for 2 reasons. One, the Traxxas wire happens to be dead in the middle, and this strap is supposed to go in the middle. The Spektrum smart batteries have the wire, I think, to the left, so that will make it strap in better. But the other reason is, if we did get those smart batteries, we would be able to see their battery life from the remote, and that's a really nice feature that we should have. Outside of that, this car is completely stock, and let's see if it lives today.
Okay, so we don't know what's going on. The AVC is turned off, and once in a while the car just starts steering on its own. I've been told several times to get rid of this control and transmitter. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna try a bunch of different races, see how it goes, but right now we have it off. I have TSM off, so we're gonna test it out. We're gonna do several laps and see which one comes out on top, see which one handles better.
3, 2, 1, go. A little bit of a crash with the sledge. From what I'm seeing, I feel like the Kraton seems to have more of that throttle power, but sled steers better.
All right, so we got the GoPro mounted on Will's head. We got it ready to go. This is the best way so we can fully race these cars. Don't have to worry about racing one-handed, even though he's really good at racing one-handed. We're having some steering issues. So if he full throttles it, it just goes 100% out of control, and it's hard to steer. And for some reason, we can't adjust the steering trim because it'll start driving on its own.
Yeah, look.
So there's a calibration issue that we're missing here, but he is able to race it. We are going to reset those later. Well, I think we're definitely planning on getting a different transmitter system for this, because I'm starting to not like this DX3.
Yeah, if you guys saw in some of the bashing videos of the Kraton, I was reckless going full throttle around those bases, and I think I only did 1 spin out in 3 videos. And now I go 3/4 throttle and I'll spin out 3 times in a row.
Yeah, so I got TSM turned off. We're going to be testing this out. We're going to do several races and just kind of average them out and see how they do.
3, 2, 1, go. Both close. Oh my God. I went under him. Oh. I think that was half throttle on the time where I spun out. I have to be so careful throttling on this track for some reason. On the baseball field, I can go full throttle whenever I want. 3, 2, 1, go. That was a quick race. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Both of these cars loud and aggressive, but I just feel like the Sledge is handling better. But I feel like the Kraton has more power. Yeah, so I feel like the Sledge handled better, but I feel like the Kraton had more of that speed out of the corners. We're gonna do about 2, maybe 3 more races because we actually want to continuously see which car is ahead, which car is handling better, which car is winning the races. You're joking. You're joking.
Tank.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I'll do a little front flip to start the race. That's fine. Oh, what? All right, it's happening again. I mean, it's just jerking the wheels left and right. ABC is off. I mean, there's nothing can be interfering. Actually gaining a little bit of ground. So if you saw over there, it was just going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Like I couldn't steer it.
Well, right over here, I don't know what it was. Every time I turned, it just wanted to skip. It's really slick here. It's got too much grip there. It's got too much grip here, no grip over there. So the rain kind of like made this a really interesting track.
And that little area just got way worse.
Yeah. So we're gonna do this again. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Right now it's 2-1. So let's race one more time. We'll kind of like, you know, judge which one we thought handled better. Which obviously right now I still think it's a sledge.
Swap cars.
And we could swap cars. That'd be really interesting.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. I went to the bushes. Oh, look. Brake check turn. I think I kicked him. I kicked you. Going on a nice hike to go find the sledge. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Well, I lost my lead. We are both cutting corners on this track. What was that? This is just aggressive pushing.
Lee, I turned TSM on for you.
All right. I'll turn it off. Well, this feels way different.
How does it feel different?
Kraton's more aggressive off the throttle. I've only raced the sledge one time and it was on a baseball field for like a 2-minute clip. 3, 2, 1, go. What is he doing? Oh my God. I think the Kraton has a better servo. All right, he is flying with that thing.
All right, so I drove the Kraton a little bit. The battery died, so we're gonna have to charge the batteries. The Kraton's got a lot of punch, and we need to calibrate that throttle because it shouldn't be doing it that much. But comparing that one to the sledge, this sledge doesn't have the punch, but it's got the stability on the throttle. And I think that's the biggest thing. I enjoy driving the sledge more than the Kraton because of the way it feels going around the corner. It's like I feel like I have more control over it on the punch. We'll get the settings changed on the Kraton and hopefully that'll help it. But as far as racing goes, personally, I'm just gonna give it to the sledge just because of the way it ran around the corners, the throttle response it had. Both cars were flipping around, but the Kraton, I think, still has a lot to offer once we get those settings calibrated. So, and more time with it. We haven't had a lot of time with it because it breaks every time we go out. So it's kind of hard to say that it's not fast or it's not doing well. We need more time with it, I think.
All right, so I did race both. The big difference I think I noticed was the steering. Around corners, the Kraton would push through those corners a lot faster, while the Sledge, you had to slow down and you had to hold your steering and coast through the entire corner. I think that's where the Sledge lost a lot of its speed. But yeah, like he said, it is a lot more stable when it comes to on throttle. And overall, I think I'll give it to the Sledge, but it's not too far off. I did like racing the Kraton just because of its raw speed and power, but the Sledge is more stable. The tires on the Kraton, they were a little bit slick on some parts. They weren't too bad, but there were definitely some parts where they would just spin out. All right, so now we are going to go charge up some more batteries, and we're going to do separate locations due to the bashing. So it's going to be probably a little bit for us, but for us, it'll just be like a... All right, so we are in a new spot for bashing. We did actually reset the Kraton settings back to default just to help with the acceleration. We think we had the punch higher than it was supposed to be, so on the throttle it was just a little bit unstable. We are here bashing. We are going to be landing on the dirt instead of the grass. This is mainly for two reasons. We don't want to deal with all the mud and cleanup, considering these cars are already muddy from the track, and we actually really want to test the real durability of these cars landing on dirt instead of grass.
Ready?
Yep. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, that was close.
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
That fence is an arm killer.
I looked at you flip over for a second. I got distracted on it.
Dude, I don't know how many times Crash has hit that fence right there and ripped an arm off. All right, that was really close. That was really fun. We're gonna do it again. These bags are really, if you hit these bags wrong, you flip over to a bicycle. But that fence right there and then that fence right there, those are arm killers. So we gotta be really careful not to hit those, but that was really close.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, I'm leaning at that corner. Oh, hold on, I'm in the dugout. Okay, they can't donut.
Actually, I think the crane can donut. Hold on.
Look at the dirt. It's been raining. That's better. It's all the tires.
Yeah.
I can't donut with sledgehammer tires. Those are way too grippy. Especially since it rained, you can tell that the dirt's really grippy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about you guys. I don't know what you think, but I'd say they're pretty damn equal.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both really, really fast. Let's go ahead. Start hitting the ramp, see which one survives, and we're gonna one-up each other because, like I said, this is a versus, so let's go for it. We're gonna try to stay off the grass because it's really wet and I don't wanna have to deal with rusty car parts. So, plus, I wanna see how they land on this dirt, and this is hard. This feels really hard. It's really cold out right now. Both these cars should be able to handle the brutal beating they're about to get. So, let's see if we can one-up each other on this ramp. That was loud. All right, now they're getting it.
How you play the game with the people that writing the rules? Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really want to do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, that's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat, and I ain't close to being done yet. I'm going on it. jump. Ain't no love lost, we just really doing us. Go and take your seat, looking silly getting up. Y'all know what it is, let me tell them what it was. It was 24/7 on the grind, one thing at a time. Hard to understand, kind of person. Got the state of mind, we was making moves every day, getting things in line. You could go and say what you want, but believe that I've been
Slightly under.
Ooh, that just got loose for the first time.
Strap.
but believe that I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat, and I ain't close to being done yet. I'm going all in.
One wheel. That was all on that left front. There's no way the battery's dead here. That's all I got.
That's it? Come on, go again. Yeah, that happened yesterday. This thing eats batteries.
The fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really want to do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, that's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat, and I ain't close to being done yet. I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. And I ain't close to being done yet.
That was on purpose. I wanted a soft landing. All right, so that'll do it for the verses. We're gonna go over a few categories that we think that matter most between these two cars that differentiate them from each other. Let's start off with obviously the speed. They both are extremely fast around the bags. I'm gonna call that a tie. They're extremely fast around the bags. I really don't think you can say one was faster than the other. Now the Kraton, you can adjust the punch. That might give it the edge, but that's also stability. You can turn the punch up all you want, but if it's not stable, the speed doesn't really matter at that point. Sledge is extremely stable. So for this, I'm gonna give it a tie.
All right, so for speed, I know the Sledge has a higher top end speed when it says out of the box, but when you're just casually bashing, casually racing it, I feel like they're the same exact speed. I don't think either one of them was necessarily faster on any straightaways. So yeah, I'll give this one a tie too.
Now, as far as stability goes, that ties right into what we just said. I would say the Sledge is definitely more stable. I think the Kraton would be more stable. I think the tires don't offer a lot of grip. I think if the Kraton had better tires, it might offer a lot more grip. Really also depends on where you go. We've taken both cars to different places. We take them to the track, and at the track, it gets really slick where the Sledge comes out on top. But we also had acceleration issues with the Kraton, and that's why it was spinning out. For this, I'm gonna give it to the Sledge just because of the tires, but I think if the Kraton had better tires, I would say it's also a tie.
Yeah, I'd also give this one to the Sledge. I feel like it was just a lot more stable going around the track. It wasn't just the tires, in my opinion. I think the entire car as a whole is just more stable. Going around the track, I feel like the Sledge took every turn a little bit better.
Now, as far as acceleration goes, I drove both cars. I'm gonna give this one to the Sledge, and that's just because this is really hard. That's because I can give the Sledge the beans. It's stable on acceleration, whereas the Kraton just feels like it's raw power, and giving that raw power, it doesn't feel stable like I'm really trying to control it. So I think raw power and stability on acceleration, I gotta give it to the Sledge. It's definitely quieter, but it's got a lot of grip, and you can handle that acceleration on full punch. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Sledge.
I actually gonna give this one to the Kraton. I feel like on that low end speed, even with the punch settled down, I could give that thing full throttle. If it's in a straightaway, I can go full throttle with the Kraton, but on a track, yeah, you can't have that acceleration. You're gonna spin out. But I feel like off the line on a straightaway, I think the Kraton's a little bit faster, a little bit more powerful.
All right, as far as bashing goes, wow, that's really tricky because the Kraton's got a lot of punch off the ramp. It can do a double. I used to be able to do triples with the Sledge, but it depends on the tire and it depends on the ramp if it's too slick. But the Kraton still took it. It was able to do it. They both can front flip. They both, well, I'm gonna say right now, the Sledge can take more of a beating than the Kraton. But time will tell with that once we get the bugs worked out of the Kraton. But man, the things that I was doing on the ramp, I just kept going and going, and the Sledge kept taking it and taking it. Even though the Kraton was doing better this time, I still want to give the edge to the Sledge, just because right now I can hit this thing on the ramp as hard as I can, and I don't think it's going to break. So I'm going to give this one to the Sledge. All right, so as far as performance goes, I haven't seen enough of the Kraton to really judge what it's going to be able to do of all the different places that we normally go. So I'm gonna give it to the Sledge. But only, like I said, only time will tell with the Kraton. I know the Kraton is a rival to the Sledge, and they both have incredible performance. But I need to see more out of the Kraton to actually make that judgment. So once we get to that 1 year mark with the Kraton, like we did with the Sledge, we'll revisit that.
Now, I have to disagree with the same reasoning. In the very little time I've had the Kraton, I've been able to throw every single move I've learned for every car. I've thrown max tricks into this, Revo tricks into this, and it seems to do everything I want it to do better than the previous car I did it with. In just a few different bashes, I've learned how to double front flip, which I couldn't do with any other car. I could double back flip, which I can only do with a few cars. And even on the ground, it can do bicycles, it can wheelie, it can donut pretty good. There's a lot of things it can do. It just doesn't have the durability we're gonna get into the next segment, but as of right now, I feel like the Kraton has a better performance. I also do want to point out, with the Revo that I driven as my main car for about, I think it was a year and a half around, and I couldn't do double backflips with that car. So I was always very limited. I had to be a lot more technical when I bash. With the Kraton, I can throw it in the air and it does what I want it to do. And just remember, this is one of the lowest punch settings. If we were up that punch, maybe to 5, 6, maybe even 10 if we wanted to go to our limits, that thing would probably do triples, and I could even see it do quadruple backflips with ease. So time will tell with the Kraton.
All right, now let's get into durability. I really don't know on this one either. I want to give it to the Sledge. Remember, when we first got the Sledge, we had all kinds of spur gear issues, pinion issues, where the chassis was flexing, causing the mesh to come out, and it was chipping teeth. Then I went ahead and stripped out the rear diff, so we had to put spiral cut gears in it. But once we got just a few things done with it, it's become extremely durable. It took a year before I broke a front hinge pin. So, and the Kraton, out of the box, doing a single backflip, broke a drive cup. Then we brought it back out, did another backflip, landed. Even though it landed wrong, it doesn't matter. It's really weird to shatter another drive cup. It already bent an axle. I mean, we were going, the control knob wouldn't return back to center. Just a lot of weird things. So in saying that, I'm definitely gonna give it to the Sledge. But once we get all the bugs worked out of the Kraton, again, we will definitely revisit that and see if all those bugs are gone, if the Kraton is durable as it says it is as an EXB.
All right, so I will have to agree with that one. I feel like the Sledge is more durable, but in the first few months, I think the Sledge did break more than the Kraton, but the Sledge broke a lot less important parts. Gears are common to break on any car, while drive cups are just not. Toe links aren't. Bent axles that quickly. It's just a lot of important and valuable parts on a car breaking early. I feel like, well, this is the second bash in a row with no more breaks, and these have been hard bashes. This is the hardest bash we've ever done, and it walked away with no scratches, no new bent axles. So in a few months, in a few more bashes, we'll make a community post saying if this improved and if this is on par with the Sledge, but for now it is the Sledge.
I'm gonna throw in one more thing. The body that's currently on the Sledge that you guys saw is the original body. It's actually lasted a long time. As you can see, the front end is pretty banged up. The clipless system is starting to come through the top. All I have on the inside is a little bit of Gorilla Tape. That's it. This is over a year old. I got a little cut right here. This thing handles a beating. I think it's because of the truggy design that's on it. It doesn't allow for the body to take a lot of hits, which I think is extremely important. As far as the wing goes, I've gone through 3 wings because that wing does stick out and it does bend, so you can't really get over that. The Kraton, on the other hand, I think it'll last long, but I think the only problem that one's gonna have is the front where the shock towers hit the body. I think eventually those are just gonna pop through. So once we get a new body for that, we're gonna have to come up with some maybe aluminum plates to put on the inside to help save that. So as far as the bodies and everything go, man, the sledge is unmatched right now with any car that we have. It's these bodies are not cheap and it lasts. All right, the sledge was $699.95 originally when I bought it. Now with the belted tires, I believe it's $769.95. So that's still a high price point. I prefer not to have the Sledgehammer tires and keep that extra 70 bucks to put towards some upgrades. The Kraton, same price, $699.99. They're both the same price. I think as far as what you get out of it, I still think it's the Sledge, and I'm not getting down on Arrma about it. There's less problems. There's less problems with the electronics. I turn it on and I go. We've had nothing but problems with the electronics on the Arrma, but that could just be some flaws out of the box, maybe a defective controller, defective receiver, stuff that we can fix. As far as the price point goes, they're the same price. You're getting 2 great bashers. I think either one would be good for a seasoned RC enthusiast. All right, so overall to end this video, guys, I'm going with the Sledge, not just because it's a Sledge and it's Traxxas, that has nothing to do with it. I'm going with it because I know I can take this out or I can take the Max out and I'm not gonna have problems. I'm gonna go out and have fun now that I got it the way that I want it, and it didn't cost that much to get it there. So for this, I'm definitely gonna go with the Sledge.
Yeah, so even though it is my car, I am not picking the Kraton for this one. I will go with the Sledge. That's only because I've raced against the Sledge and RC Clash, and it is always a car I have to worry about, and it's always one of those cars in a bash video that you have to try to one up, because no matter what you do with the Sledge, it's gonna look good, it's gonna take what you give it, and it's just gonna live. The Kraton, we haven't had long enough to tell. Like he said, we will be revisiting this video and revisiting our opinions on it, but in the long run, I feel like the Kraton can be what I think it could be, but for now I have to give it to the Sledge. All right, so make sure you guys give this video a like and check out our Patreon. We are working to give away RC cars, shirts, sweaters. If we get enough members, we can give away a lot more stuff back to you guys, and it helps support our channel. So if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys next video.